And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Thank you very much, legendary John Bon Jovial. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another hour of music and all kinds of good stuff going on, and we're going to get it started right now with a guy who calls himself DAYGLOW and a tune named Balcony. That's DAYGLOW and a tune called Balcony. And DAYGLOW is he's an independent pop artist and singer, songwriter, and producer out of Aledo, Texas. His real name is Sloan Struble. He released his debut album, Fuzzy Brain, on September 28th of 2018. He went to Austin originally to study advertising at the University of Texas, but he had a love for music, and we all know the story of Austin and music. So it was no surprise when he became overcome by making beats and recording tunes. He was a little bit surprised when he broke the news to his parents that he wanted a career in music. And they were not only accepting, but they supported the idea. His dad suggesting that, yeah, you probably shouldn't be in school if this is happening. So he made the switch over to music. Enough said. He's in his second year and making ground every year. If you're interested, there's a really great story about him in the April 2020 edition of the Austin Monthly. And one last note that I have an affinity for this artist, not only because he does pop music and we play independent music on this show, but also because we happen to share August 10th birthdays. John Bon Jovial, what say you?
Well, it's got a great dance beat to it. I know he uses auto-tune, and, of course, you know what a fan of auto-tune I am.
Yes, I do.
But the thing, and ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know, I really don't like auto-tune. However, there are times when it can be used appropriately, without overbearing and being overpowering. And I think he borders on that with this song. He does a nice job. I would prefer personally to hear more of his natural voice and to have it synthesized like that. But other than that, the production value of it, again, it's a great dance number. Exactly, he does have the potential to have something on his hands there, something good.
Yeah, in spite of the fact that he perhaps overutilizes, would be a diplomatic way of saying, he overutilizes the autotune. Aside from that, he does have an ear for today's pop market and what the people are buying, and he did produce a very commercial dance tune, and that was, bottom line, what he set out to do. So he has succeeded in that, and we shall definitely watch DAYGLOW and see how he fares in the future. Speaking of the future, we want to not forget our past and future friends, Titty Bingo, who provide our theme music, and you can check out all of their neat Texas rock and roll at their website, tittybingo.com. We want to issue our weekly salute to our friends at our flagship radio station, WRFZ, FM 106.3, Rochester Free Radio in Rochester, New York. And want to say hello, of course, to Steve Litvak, whose Rock and Roll Rumble show follows the David Bowers Awards on Rochester Free Radio. Also, Jeff Moulton, Oldies, ABC Oldies, Saturday evenings at 8 o'clock on Rochester Free Radio. We have to move right along because we do have a lot of music, and I say that with all sincerity and pleasure because we've got some interesting music, especially from our first guest, and in our tradition of bringing you some of the best new artists from around the world. We go halfway around the world for Izzie of Izzies Caravan, and we'll talk to him right after we listen to him Stick It To You. hallelujah. And here's the gentleman who'll do just that. Come on in here, Izzie, and say hello to everybody.
Hey, Dave. Really, really glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, pleasure, and a pleasure to be able to share your music too. You have an ear for I don't want to say, it's kind of a different sound. It's not your routine sound that you hear every day, yet it's good, it's solid, it's got great qualities to it. How did you come up with the Izzie sound, if I may call it that?
Oh, wow, dude. I got to give my dad a little credit here because growing up, listening to all these absolutely larger-than-life records, like by Dire Straits and Pink Floyd and stuff. And so I think that was sort of like the gateway into rock and roll. And I still remember, I'm telling you, this is one of the most profound memories that I have, which is when I first heard Money for Nothing as a kid.
Okay.
And because my dad was he's like one of these audiophile, completely fanatic about finding the right sound in his speakers and stuff, and so he'd always crank up these records and stuff. And when I first heard Money for Nothing, I was like, man, that's what I want to do, right? And so I guess that's where the love affair with the guitar started. And it's still going on, considering I'm still not anywhere near as good as I want to be. But it's just. It was just, but then again, listening to Zeppelin and the Stones and early Aerosmith, I proudly bear an Aerosmith tattoo, and then getting into, much later on in life, getting into common denominator in all this music